middleweight division title. All right, so here he is, the soldier of God, Olympic silver medalist, Yoel Romero. It's amazing to think he hasn't had a UFC belt around his waist. Most people think, or I should say, some people think he did enough to beat Robert Whittaker back in the day, but this is still one of the best middleweights on planet Earth.
He's one of the most naturally talented guys that I've ever met. From the moment I met him back in the wrestling days, way back around 2001, you understood that you were looking at something special in Yoel Romero. And although he started his career very late, I knew that he would get to this point. Now that he has developed that quick knockout ability, couple that with his wrestling, and you have one of the perennial middleweight top contenders.
Hard to find a lot of glaring weaknesses when you study the film on Yoel Romero. Some might knock the cardio, but seems to get his breathers in there in a 25-minute fight. And you've heard past opponents like Luke Rocco, Robert Whittaker talk about literally kicking a man of steel.
He's stoned.
Yoel Romero, folks, here he is. So here he is, the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world. This man ubiquitously regarded as the top 85er at present. Some people believe this is the greatest middleweight of all time. He certainly does, and he has goals even beyond that. He wants to be one of the greatest mixed martial arts athletes of all time, and in order to preserve that goal, this is a title defense, simply put, that he's got to have. And now our tale of the tape for this middleweight championship fight. Well, how about the age discrepancy here? More than 15 years apart with similar height and reach. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Dan Mergliata. And now, this is the moment UFC fans around the world have been waiting for. Live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, it's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Middleweight Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record of 13 wins, 5 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, USA, presenting the challenger, Yoel Soldier of God Romero. And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record of 12 wins, no losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Stockholm, Sweden, ladies and gentlemen, the reigning, defending UFC middleweight champion, Khamzat Chimaev.
They touch him up and we are underway.
Ready? Ready?
All right, so here we go, round 1. I can barely hear myself think in this arena right now. 2 of the most dominant, well-rounded fighters in this division.
I mean, these guys are the best of all of mixed martial arts. They can do everything when they're locked inside of the octagon. I'm so excited to watch the highest level of MMA on display tonight.
Nice hammer fist. Pretty good work with the strikes here off of his back by Romero. Working off of his back here. Looks like he may try to hip escape.
And now he has a headlock trying to pin his opponent's back down flat onto the mat. Look for him to transition to an arm triangle to try to chase the finish. Oh, and he's attacking choke now. There he is. He's moving to the finishing position. Now watch, he goes parallel right next to his opponent when it's time to finish.
And this might just be a matter of time. Ooh, right into side control, DC.
This is where you want to be now because you get to make your opponent decide. They try to turn back into you, you can attack guillotine. If they turn away to try to get to your knees, you throw your hooks in and you got all your rear choke submissions.
Oh, he's got the ground and pound going now.
He's putting him in exactly the positions he needs to be in right now. He's able to relax here. And he understands, being a veteran of so many fights, that as long as he's on top, he's winning. He feels like he's winning here. Gotta be careful, armbar. You gotta recognize that when a guy starts to put his feet on your hips, you gotta move him off, and you gotta cover. You can't be off to an angle. It's in there deep. There you go.
Oh, and there's the tap, so he submits him with the armbar. How about that?
Great job. Great performance.
There on the ground, DC. Talk us through the highlight.
He's such a phenomenal grappler. I don't understand how people don't know that this guy wants to submit you. He is the best grappler, best submission specialist we've seen in a long time.
All right, so there's the man they're all chasing at 185 pounds, the undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, and the celebration is on after the big submission win here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Mergliata has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 37 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by tap out due to an armbar, and still the undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Khamzat Chimaev.
So there he is, still the undisputed UFC middleweight champion after a win by way of submission here tonight. And despite the fact that the #1 contender came in and was all the rage, he got the job done relatively easily here tonight, submitting his foe inside the distance in defense of his middleweight title. Only one thing left to do tonight. That is to party. The celebration is on in the red corner with the undisputed UFC middleweight champ.